Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use VMware Workstation Player. So what this program allows you to do is create a virtual PC. So in other words, what that is you could say install Windows or Linux into this program, and then you could actually say use another operating system within this program. So you could be running this program and then you have Linux running in a window, so you don't actually install it on your computer, you're just installing it kind of in the program. So I could be browsing the internet on this half of the screen and have another operating system open over here. So this is good if you want to test operating systems or pretty much anything where you would want to test out another operating system. So first of all, you need to download it. So the link is in the description for this page. Just click that. Then you want to obviously click download for your version, and then you want to save this file anywhere, I guess, and then you want to run that file to install the program. So I already have the program installed, but we also, to install an operating system, we actually need the operating system installation file. So I'm going to be using Linux Mint. So I have the Linux Mint download page right here. And you don't have to use Linux Mint, you can use anything like Windows or any other Linux, or if you have an installation disk, like a Windows disk, then you can use that as well. So if you're downloading off the internet, you want the ISO file. So I'm going to use the Cinnamon version of Linux Mint, and you can either select 32 or 64. Obviously don't select 64 if your computer's 32 though. And then for Linux Mint, you have to select a server to download. So then you see the ISO file, you want to just save that into a place. So I have the actual program here now, and so now you want to click create a new virtual machine. So if you have an installer disk, you want to click this and select that, but I have a disk image file. So you want to select that, and then you want to hit browse, and there we go. You want to select the file that you just downloaded. Okay, so now I've selected that, and it says could not detect which operating system is in the disk image file. Don't worry about that. And if it says anything about easy or fast install, I can't remember what it's called, that is an easy way of installing the operating system, which is supported by a couple operating systems. So if it says anything else under here, just follow the instructions, obviously. So you want to hit next, and for Linux Mint it didn't detect that it actually was, because if you want to, you have to select which operating system it is. So mine's Linux Mint, but it's actually not listed here. It doesn't list all Linux operating systems. Linux Mint is, I don't know how you say it, I think it's Debian or Debian, I don't know how you say it, but if you do Linux Mint, select this one, and the 64-bit if you got the 64-bit one. So you want to hit that, and then you want to hit next. Now you want to select the virtual machine name. I'm going to call it Linux Mint. And you want to select the location where you want to actually store your virtual machine. So just hit browse, and I'm going to save it on this drive. And I'm going to actually create a new folder, and I'm going to call it Linux if I can spell Linux Mint, and I'm going to save it into there. So click OK, and then just hit next. I don't really know what the benefits of selecting these options, but I just usually click store virtual disk as single file. Now it will show the maximum disk size, so this is basically how much storage you want to show in your operating system. So for Linux, I mean 20 gigabytes, well, you'll get away with that, but obviously Windows, if you're going to install programs on Windows, you need more than 20 gigabytes of hard drive space. So if you do Windows, I'd say about 80, but for Linux, 20 will do. So I'm just going to say store virtual disk as single file, and then click next. And then here you can customize the hardware. So this is what how good the virtual machine will run. So I'll just show you kind of how this works if you don't really understand this. So if I click customize hardware, I can see all the things like memory, processors. So here are my what I would advise. So depending on what computer you have, you will obviously have to select different sizes for the memory. So maximum memory is how much memory is in your computer, so don't go near this. So I usually put it just under halfway. I would recommend putting it just under halfway between the recommended memory and maximum recommended memory, because even though it says recommended memory, I don't think that's very good. So if your computer can handle it, I would have about 2 gigabytes for a Linux installation. Then for processors, if you have a quad-core CPU, I would recommend setting this to 2. But if you don't have a quad-core CPU, don't set it to 2. Network adapter and all these USB things, you don't really need to mess with these. It's just mainly the top 2. So now you can click close and finish. So now we can actually start installing the operating system on it. So next is pretty simple. So we just select this and say play virtual machine. And as you can see, it actually runs like it's a real computer, like it has a BIOS and everything. So if you click on the actual window, it will kind of make your keyboard and mouse, control the computer. So it's booting now as if I was actually installing Linux Mint on a real computer. So now it's just booting the installation media. So we'll just need to wait for this to boot. Now the installation media has booted, I'm just going to hit install Linux Mint. And with some operating systems, it will say this running in software rendering mode. It's just because it's, it is virtualized, so there is going to be a few minor issues. So now I'm just going ahead with the normal Linux Mint install, and you can just say erase disk and install Linux Mint. Obviously it's not going to erase Windows or anything because it's a virtual machine. So now I'm just going to go ahead and install Linux Mint. So this is just like the normal installation of Linux Mint. However, look, it's in a window, but it's like an operating system running in a window. So I'm just going to fill all these in. Just going to hit login automatically and click continue. So one thing to note with any operating system in VM Workstation Player, you will never get the same kind of performance from it as you would get if you actually installed the operating system. But I suppose you can't really argue with that because you're running Windows as well as another operating system. But it won't be the same with performance. However, it should be pretty good. Also, you will maybe find some glitchiness with mainly animated things within the operating system. For example, moving around Windows, sometimes it glitches out a bit, but it's just something that happens with VM Workstation. But it's not too bad, and you can run operating systems very well. Linux Mint is just installing as you normally would on a normal computer. So I'm just going to wait for it to finish installing. So the installation is complete now. It did take a little bit of time because, as I said, it's not as fast as like installing it on real hardware, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to say restart now. And now it says please remove the installation medium, then press enter. You can just press enter. Now it is booting into the installed OS, and it should be fully set up now. And there we have it. We have Linux Mint installed. So we now have Linux Mint installed in VMware, and as you can see, it is full Linux Mint. It works just like as you would install Linux Mint on a real computer. But look, it's installed inside like a window. Crazy. Also, something I will show you. You can go into full screen mode, and that will be full screen on your monitor, and it will run, because it's full screen, it will, imagine this full screen, it will kind of look like, you actually have it installed on your computer like this. One other thing I will show you is this little, drop down menu. So you can use the power, and you can also kind of connect some different USB devices. So say I want to connect my touch, okay, that's a bad example. Say I want to connect my USB camera. I can say connect, so that's disconnected from my Windows computer, but is now connected directly to Linux. So it won't show up in Windows, but it will show up here, now connected in Linux, so it will work in Linux. So then I can just connect that back to like Windows. You can also just connect DVD drives and your printer and stuff like that. You can send Control-Alt-Delete, and here is the virtual machine settings we were on earlier. So I guess that is pretty much all I have to show you today about VMware Workstation. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe. I love it when people comment, subscribe and like. I get that notification and I love it. So please do. I guess that's it, and I'll see you in another video then. Bye!